Okay, y'all get me twice in one day. Y'all get me twice in one day because I'm tired. I have had enough. I have had enough. The reason why I can basically speak about this topic is because I do understand. And so I know that we have men that log on and children and people of different ethnic backgrounds. But I want to speak to women right now. And men, I don't mind if you listen. But I want to have a heart to heart with the ladies. And I can do this. I can do this because you can Google me if you like. And I'm not bragging because I'm nothing. I'm a servant. I'm a servant of the Most High. But I can speak about it because this book, right here, this one, the Lord petitioned me to write this book a couple years ago, The Death of the Angry Black Woman. And the reason why the Lord petitioned me to write this book is because I understood or understand anger. I understand that we have dealt with a level of violence growing up. Some of us, not all of us. But I grew up in a home of domestic violence. And so the Lord petitioned me to write this book. If you don't have it, you might want to get it. There's a scripture that the word of God says, be angry, but do not sin. However, in chapter 7 in this book, Uncovering the Foundation, it's in the book. Someone said that book is life-changing. Read it. Powerful book, big sister. Oh, so you're a man. Pastor Clay is a guy and he read it. A Made-Up Mind is chapter 3. The Discovery, chapter 4. Before you go get the book, I need you to go through these chapters and I need you to discover the foundation of anger. I grew up in a household of domestic violence, and so I had to go back. And the Lord had to teach me the core of where the anger came from. He had to give me the core of how come I became so angry. Now, I want to read something to you. A Virginia woman who was accused of intentionally running over her partner in the parking lot last week was caught on camera screaming, spitting, and throwing a dislodged bumper on the top of a motionless victim. The shocking footage of this angry woman assaulting this man was from 34-year-old Bashira Tripp, who repeatedly shouted profanity as her breeding partner lay face down on the ground. Now, I put the video up and I know that they're going to pull it. However, enough. A couple of weeks ago, we saw a black woman, and she torched a young man's car. She just took a match, and went up in flames. Another week, we saw a woman pull off of a door. She pulled a door off the hedges. It is time for us to get help. I am going to say this openly because I understand this. I am going to say it because the Lord has ordained me to be transparent. When I was in my 20s, I was enraged by an ex. And what I did is I broke his arm. I'm saying this openly, and I don't care who judged me because I'm free. I've done what I had to do. I got PTI. I'm good. I was so enraged. I used to live in New Jersey, and what happened is they stole my car. And when they stole my car, if you take antifreeze and you spray it on the car, on the club, it takes it apart. And so I was like, nah, I'm going to keep a part of it. And so I kept a part of it because there was a level of me that was dealing with anger, but I knew that I was going to get to the point where I would have to defend myself, and I'm going to leave it at that. One thing led to another, and I was pregnant with my son, Hunter, and I was pregnant with him, and something happened. I began to become enraged because at that time I was being assaulted. And so you could say it was self-defense or not, but what I did is pregnant, full-blown pregnant. I got this energy where I ran full pregnant, and I grabbed that part of the club and I began to swing it. Now, this is my truth. What happened was I broke someone's arm. I did. Understand that even though people say it was self-defense, some people say that you reacted or you responded. I don't care what it was wrong. And even though I'm here now and I have done what I had to do to get myself free, the Lord said to me, I've got to deal with that issue. I've got to deal with anger. Someone said freedom in Christ. I was dangerous. Ursula said it, and I'm not afraid to say it. I was dangerous because inside, in the pages of the book, you're going to find that I had to make a conscious decision who I was going to mirror growing up in my household. Was I going to mirror my dad, who was the abuser, who showed us violence on a regular basis? Or was I going to mirror my mother, who took the beatings and never fought back? Now watch this. What I did is the Lord showed me, and I discovered that I was not going to be like my mother. If that Negro said something wrong, if he did something wrong, this individual hog spit in my face, just spit. And I was like, oh, hell no. Oh, no, 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 no. With the spit running down my face, I got in defense mode. What I did was I said, I'm not going to be like my mother. No, I'm not going to be like my mother. I'm going to be a fighter. I am going to fight. If he thinks he going to put his hands on me, if he think he going to disrespect me, I'm going to fight. What I did is I became the fighter because my mother refused to fight back. I'm telling you the truth. My mother refused to fight back. So what I did, I said, I ain't going to be nothing like my mother. He going to get these hands. And why am I saying this? I'm saying this because just like in chapter 7, you've got to get to the foundation of what causes the anger. Anger is a reaction towards pain. And sometimes someone can cause you pain, and your reaction could cause you to get incarcerated, lose your children. Someone said me and my spouse read the book together. It can cause you to lose a lot because you find yourself intertwined or in a relationship with someone that's not good for you. The young lady began to yell, 18 years, as he laid there lifeless with blood. I gave you 18 years of my life, 18 years. You have to understand that in the pages of the book, it's going to help you discover something. It simply is going to teach you, I got issues of anger and you're not good for me. Most people don't understand that you possibly could be connected to someone who brings out your triggers. So I was connected to someone like my dad. I was connected to someone who too had anger issues, which became a very cosmic, combustible, unhealthy relationship. And most people have to identify the triggers. Being with someone that loves you, they don't want to aggravate your triggers. You must understand that you could connect yourself to someone that's not good for you. Just because you're in love doesn't mean that you're supposed to be together. If I had to sit down with this young lady, I would ask her the history of the 18 years. Now, wait a minute. I'm not saying she's right. Trust me, they're all wrong. I would ask her, did you see signs of anger? Not just from you, but did you see the individual you with causing triggers to happen in your relationship? So I've got to ask ladies right now, who's with you? Are you with someone that's going to make you better or bring out your triggers? The book talks about your triggers. If you're connected to someone that reminds you of someone that caused you pain, run. I'm saying triggers are very important. Most people don't understand that I learned how to defend myself in a domestic violence household. What do you mean? It simply means I learned to fight because fighting is all I knew. I learned to fight because my father was the abuser, but my mother never showed me how to fight. Most black women, I've got to say this, unfortunately, we have not learned how to fight right. God taught me that. Fighting right means that I am going to realize my worth, and I'm not going to put myself in a position where I have to get hurt by defending myself with a fist, defending myself using a car as a weapon, defending myself where I will have to serve a life sentence. But think about this. I am not going to teach my children how to fight wrong. I am not going to be a product of my environment of domestic violence where it would spill over to my children. My mother, as much as I love her, did not show me a way to fight. She did not say, this isn't good for me. Even though I was with your dad for 37 years, this is going to kill me. This is not right. We're going to go and we're going to get ourselves out of this environment. Take inventory of the relationships you get yourself in. And if you're with someone that gets your triggers going, that's not good for you. Perfect love casts out all fears. If you've got to fight to defend yourself, if you got to fight to get them off of you, and if you got to fight to make it fit, eventually it's going to break. Let me say this to you. Are they worth it? Are they worth it? Are they worth you serving a life sentence? Are they worth your sanity? And let me go deeper. Are they worth allowing your kids to pay a price because you're in love? This woman took a car bumper after she rolled him over twice, hit him with the car bumper, and then spit on him. Psychologically, we all know that there's something there. But there are too many, of course, black women who are dealing with these anger issues and they don't want to get help. Get help, ladies. I can go deeper and say, gentlemen, why don't you just be right and I don't have to? No. If he doesn't want to be accountable, you be accountable for you. Stop allowing these men, these relationships, to get you to the point of physical altercation that can take your freedom away. There is nothing more important than your freedom. A lot of people are not going to like my verbiage, but at this point, I really don't care. Is it that good? Are you that digmatized until you allow someone to bring you out of character to cause the morgue or the ambulance to come to your place of business, your house? I promise you, I understand. That's why I wrote the book. The Lord had to get me to the place where he had to pull the wool off of my eyes and say, you got anger issues. The anger issues that you have, Jamila, you have those anger issues because you made an oath to yourself that if I get involved with someone and if he reminds me of my father, I'm going to handle it. It's not the right way. Most of us are used to toxic relationships because we don't know what healthy ones are. I grew up in a household where I saw my mother crawl around on the floor like a dog. We would stand around her. My father would ask us, do you want to see blood today? And we would have to respond. We would have to say, Dad, we don't want to call mommy ugly. We don't want to call her a frog. I grew up in a household where my mother had to wear big old Jackie O shades because she was hiding stitches from her eye where my father had bludgeoned her in the face. And so I was the one that stood up and I was the defender. And so most black women are angry because, unfortunately, you were put in a position you didn't sign up for. You were the defenders in the family. You saw mommy beaten and bludgeoned. You saw that. You did. But I made a choice. I made a choice that I'm not going to be like my mother. Even though I love her, I'm not going to be like my mother. I'm going to fight. And if they do something to me, I'm going to fight. Now watch this. You could be in a household of domestic violence. You can. And you can make a conscious decision. I'm going to fight. And find yourself defending yourself. And guess who the cops are going to come get? They're not going to come get the abuser. They're going to come to get you. Because you were in a situation where you finally decided to fight when you could have walked away a long time ago and saved yourself the aggravation. I'm not afraid to be transparent. And this is why I do this every day. Because I want you to understand that the death of the angry black woman has to die. Social media is full of women who look like myself that are pulling doors off the hinges and blowing up cars and now getting ready to serve possibly a life sentence. We are so enraged and angry, and we cannot allow life to stick those labels on us. Even 50 Cent say, I don't deal with black women, they're too angry. Understand, I understand we may have a right to be angry, and most of us are single mothers. We may have a right to be angry. We don't know what a healthy relationship is with a father. And the first man that hurt us was our dad. Most of us, we are tired. We're frustrated. We got to take care of the kids when he walked away. We got to take care of the bills. We're walking around big balls of madness and anger. We don't deserve to allow us to wear a label called an angry black woman. But the label is wearing us kind of well these days simply because we won't get help. And we won't acknowledge that we too are angry about something. And maybe you might not have had anything to do with it. A lot of us have mental issues, bipolar disorder, trauma, and mental illness is on an all-time high. This woman kept yelling, 18 years. Nigga, I gave you 18 years of my life. Really? And perhaps he might have went with another woman. I'm quite sure. I don't know the story. I'm not judging. But I'm saying it's time for you to wake up and die. What am I saying? The death of the angry black woman has to die. Don't let society put that label on you, because I can guarantee you they're looking at us and they're watching us. I am asking you, get help. Someone, if you're a survivor of a domestic violence situation, do what Miss O'Neill did, Tuna. She just put, I'm a domestic violence survivor, 1,700 people. If you are a victim of domestic violence, just send a emoji with a tear up the timeline. Someone put one up for me. Just because I was a victim of domestic violence does not mean that I have to let domestic violence control me. I have an opportunity to fix it now, and I am doing that. I got my anger issues under control. Sometimes she may surface. She suffers very silently, but she refuses to get out the cage. There are times when I want to black out, but I like my freedom. Give an incentive. If you're in a domestic violence situation, or if you're with someone and they're not good for you and they cause your triggers, give yourself an incentive to get out so it won't result to this. I wish this young lady would have gotten help a long time ago so that we won't see her story unfold on social media. We live in a world right now. That's right. Get a life coach. Michelle is one. I want you guys to understand that sometimes you don't know love because people receive the love that they feel that they deserve. If you feel like you deserve the type of love that causes you to come out of character or get your triggers to the point where you become reactionary towards pain, it's time for you to look at who you're connected to. The death of the angry black woman has to die. Unfold where the anger stemmed from and get out. I had to do the same thing. God had to sit me down and say, do you know where your anger came from? It came from mirroring. That you decided that I'm not going to be like my mother. I'm going to fight. I thank God that I was able to get help. Can't say anything about the ex. He's still, but for me, I got help. Women are emotional creatures. We deal with our periods. We deal with having extra chromosomes. We deal with all of those things. But you don't have to allow your circumstance to get the best of you. You get the best of your circumstances by seeing what's causing the anger. Get help. Take the layers off and don't mirror what you grew up in if you grew up in domestic violence. I am saying, please, let's stop this pandemic. Not the COVID. We all mad about that. But this one. The angry black woman has to die. You have to get control or be in a situation where you lose control. This is madness. It's got to stop. God bless y'all.